Question 1. So all of these questions, like parts of the question, are tangent. They are just different forms of tangent. So just as a reminder, tangent is tangent of theta over 1 equals opposite over adjacent. There's a reason why we set up this proportion, and you'll see that in the first couple of questions, but you definitely don't want to just immediately get to your calculator and start typing things in. So the first one, we have to circle our angle and draw an arrow, and the side that we draw an arrow to is considered the opposite side to the angle. And then 7 is next to the angle, it's touching it, so that's adjacent. That means next to. So then we're going to fill in to tangent of theta over 1 equals opposite over adjacent. So you don't have to write this template every time, but I think the more you write it, the more it will help you remember it. So then I'm going to say tangent of 45, which is our angle, over 1 equals opposite x over adjacent 7. So now we're going to cross multiply. X times 1 is x, and 7 times tangent of 45, we're going to find that. Now, some of you may have in the past, or hopefully you're not doing it anymore, but you may still be doing it, put tangent of 45 in your calculator and then multiply it by 7. You want to be careful about that, because what you're doing is if you put this in the calculator and you round, and then you multiply it by 7 and you round again, what you're doing is rounding further and further away from the real answer. So the goal is to round the least amount of times that we can, which means we would just want to put all of this in the calculator at the end. So we're going to do 7 times, and then on these calculators, if you push the trig button right here, and then push tangent, and then push 45, just make sure your calculator is in degree mode. They should already be set up that way. Your teacher hopefully worked that out for you, but most of the newer versions will tell you on the screen, and then the older ones you'll have to look at the settings, but that should already be set up. So then you push enter, and we're going to, oh, look, whole number, great. So we're gonna just write x equals 7, and then millimeters, since that is the units. Okay, so that's our first one. Second one, we're gonna do the same process. Circle, arrow, so that's opposite. And then this is adjacent. So then I'm going to fill in to tangent of theta, so filling into this. So tangent of 52 over 1 equals the opposite, which was 7, over adjacent, which is x. So this is set up differently than this one because the variable here is on top and the variable here is on bottom. That is the whole reason why we write opposite over adjacent. We're not saying like x over a number or a number over x, because we don't know. It depends on the picture. So when we cross multiply, this situation will also be different when we get down here. So x times tangent of 52, there's nothing I can do with that at the moment, so I leave it. That's this part. And then 7 times 1. So now I've got x times a number equals 7, because we know if we put this in the calculator, we're getting out the tangent ratio, which is a number. So to get rid of that, we divide by that number. So we divide by tangent of 52 on both sides. So I divided this by tangent of 52 and that. This cancels out, and I get x equals whatever 7 divided by tangent of 52 is. So I'm going to go to my calculator and do 7 divided by, and you're just using the division symbol. Here, I'll pull this up. And then trig button, tangent of 52, and then enter. So to round this, it did say round to 3 decimal places. So I've got 4, 6, 8, and then the number after the 8 is a 9. So that 9 tells me that 8 needs to go up 1. So x equals 5.469. All right, so these are the 2 types of problems you'll have with tangent. So all the rest of these will be one or the other, where you are multiplying or dividing. So let's continue the rest of these. So we've got opposite, adjacent. I like to do this first because I think it just helps organize things every time. I just constantly opposite over adjacent. So tangent of 49 over 1 equals opposite was 14 over adjacent. So this one is set up like this one, so I know this is where I'm ending up, but I'm still going to cross multiply. So 14 times 1 and x times tangent of 49. Now, I wrote this differently than I wrote this one. I put 7 first here and then x times tangent of 52, but then here I did 14 first. That's okay. It doesn't matter because the end result will be the same. So it doesn't matter which side you're on. So then I'm going to divide both sides by tangent of 49 to get x by itself because currently they're multiplying. So then these cancel each other out like this. So then I get 14 divided by tangent of 49 equals x. So that's what I'm going to put in my calculator. 14 divided by tangent of 49, which is 12.170, and the 0 after tells me that that 1 0 will stay the same. So x equals 12.170. All right, let's move on. So now we've got opposite, because I can draw an arrow to it. It is opposite of 40, and then 11 is touching it, so that's adjacent, or next to, if you want to think of that word. And then I'm going to say tangent of 40 over 1 equals opposite over adjacent. Opposite over adjacent. You got to get that in your brain. So then we cross multiply. X times 1 is x. And then 11 times tangent of 40, I will find that out in just a second. So I'm going to throw that in the calculator. So 11 times tangent of 40. Sorry, it's a little glary. And then we're going to do 9.2300. After that tells me that 0 stays the same. So 9.230. Okay, next one. So we've got, this is opposite. And this is adjacent. So I'm going to do tangent of 14 over 1 equals opposite, which is x, over adjacent, which is 23. So then when I cross multiply, I get x equals 23 times tangent of 14. So then we'll go to our calculator. Sorry, 1 second, and we'll do tangent, or sorry, 23 times tangent of 14. I like to do it in this order. Some people like to do like tangent of 14 times 23. I think it helps organize things because sometimes you'll accidentally like put that inside the parentheses and then your calculator thinks that like it's a big number as an angle. But that's just my personal preference. So that's why I put that in front instead of back here. You can do this, tangent of 14. And then you'd have to close parentheses and then times 23. I just feel like it kind of like relieves room for error. So I just try to avoid it. See how it's the same answer, but I avoid that. So then I've got 1, 2, 3, that 4. After the 4 is a 5, so that tells me to turn that up to a 5. So I'm going to say x equals 5.735. All right, last one. That's opposite. And that's adjacent. So I do want to make sure you're careful. Make sure you're not using 90 as your reference angle because you're going to find out. But if you were to put tangent of 90 in your calculator, and we've talked about this before we started talking about tangent, we were just talking about the slope ratio, that's undefined. That would make this not a right triangle because if this was 90, which that's the one we're supposed to be talking about, then it wouldn't be a triangle because 90 plus 90 is 180 already, and then you still have a missing angle here that has no degree measure left. So anyway, sorry, tangent there. That was the funniest joke I've made all day. I made a tangent while talking about tangent. Okay, so I'm going to say tangent of 53 over 1 equals, I went on a tangent, sorry, 12 over x. So then this one is going to be like part B. So cross multiply. So I get 12 times 1 is 12 equals x times tangent of 53. And then to get x alone, since these are multiplying, I'm going to divide both sides by tangent of 53. And that cancels. And so I get x equals whatever 12 divided by tangent of 53 is. Oh, I didn't divide. So that's going to be 9.04, and then the 2 is told by the 6 to go up 1. So 9.042, oh, I'm sorry, 3, because it was supposed to go up 1. All right. Oh, and I feel like I've been forgetting units, so let's not forget. This is M, no units here, no units, and this is M, so let's not forget all those. All right, last question on the first page. This one says Kason is standing 15 feet from a building. So I'm going to put Kason's feet down here. He's 15 feet away. So I'm drawing a description of every piece. His eye height is 6 feet. So I'm going to draw a little eyeball to help me out. 6 feet. It's a great eyeball, I know. And he looks up to the top of the building at 71-degree angle. So top of the building is probably up here somewhere, definitely taller than him, at a 71-degree angle. Okay, and then it says how tall is the building? So this is the question mark that we want. So looking at this picture, we end up with a right triangle and a rectangle. So we're going to use the numbers that we have in the rectangle and transfer them to be able to start talking about the right triangle, because if I can find this piece up here plus 6 will give me the whole height of the building. So I just need to look at this triangle and figure out what that x is. So I like to separate that. You are more than welcome to leave it, but I think it helps to take it out and only look at what's in that triangle, because what happens is this 6 here does not get utilized in this triangle, so I'm going to make sure I don't use it. So then again, we're going to use tangent. So this is opposite is x and adjacent is 15. So then I'm going to say tangent of 71 over x. Sorry, long day, my bad. Tangents of 71 over 1, and then opposite over adjacent, so x over 15. Okay, so now we're going to cross multiply. That's 71. Sorry if you can't see it very well, probably should erase it. Okay, so cross multiply. X times 1 is x, and then 15 times tangent of 71. And then I probably should read the rest of the directions to determine how we should round. It says round your final answer to 3 decimal places, which is the nearest thousands. So we're going to do 15 times, that's not times, tangent of 71. So this answer is not our final answer because we need to add 6 to it. So we can round here because that won't change the rounding here since it's a whole number. So we got 43.563. The one after says the 3 should stay the same. So 43.563. And then let's add 6 to it because this is the 43.563. And then we need 6 more to make the whole building. So that is 49.563 feet is the height of the building.